You ever went through something and in that moment that you're in it, you feel like there's no alternative, there is no way out, there's no way of overcoming it? That's what the last 6 months was for me. It was the most challenging time of my life. There were moments where I just felt like I was in a box where I can see the sun, but there was no way for me to climb out of it. It began with my diagnosis. And it was one of those moments where basically the world stopped and nothing else mattered. I was forced to confront the unknown. I was given options that didn't make sense to me, and I was forced to follow a strict path and given no alternatives. When I chose to decline standard care, I was immediately put on palliative care. And for me, it just felt like a hard stop. It felt like the resources which I felt my insurance would cover, were immediately stopped because I refuse to follow the straight path to, what it looks like in this cancer world: chemo, radiation, surgery. And when you refuse that, you feel as if you're not supported, and you feel as if the world is just bleak and gray. It was a sombering moment. I felt like I had to learn so much about the medical system, so much about cancer care from a global standpoint, because I decided that I was going to leave the United States and go to another country and hope that I can get the treatment that I wanted. But I realized that no, it's still the same level of standard care everywhere, but the cost to do alternative care is much cheaper outside of the United States. So, determined to fight on my own, after my diagnosis and after refusing standard care, I went on a 19-day water fast. And that fast was pivotal in me understanding that I can do this on my own, and shifting my mindset from this victim mentality to being someone who can thrive and survive no matter the circumstances. With the weight of my decision, I knew that I had to follow a path that aligned to my belief system. So coming out of this 19-day fast, I felt like I had a plan to address the cancer in my body. I decided to make a trip for medical tourism outside of this country and go to Colombia, Medellin, for treatment. I also decided that before getting there, because there was about a month or maybe 6 weeks time before I left for my trip, I wanted to do a parasite cleanse, because in my research, cancer and parasites are tied together, and I wanted to try everything that I can try to fix the terrain, which is the inside, my immune system, to make sure that my treatment that I was coming to do would hold, would shift my body, would improve my immune system. So I did the parasite cleanse, and then I lost 20 pounds. Now, in that time between the fast and the cleanse, it was no eating. Soon after, I started to eat, and the ascites came back, and the pain came back with a vengeance. And I was lost. I said, like, what is this? What am I doing wrong? And the common factor was that I started to eat again. And what I was eating was literally tearing my stomach up and tearing my body up. It was horrible. So with the consultation with my functional doctor in Medellin, we came around to supplements and also the what is this diet called? The ketogenic diet that was able to get my body back into equilibrium. It was hard work. It was physically demanding. It was mentally exhausting. But I knew that I could do it. I knew that once one day passed, the next day might not be as taxing. And truly, each day that progressed, I started to feel different. I started to feel better, especially once I got to Medellin and I started the treatments. I began to feel like healing was within reach. Ultimately, during my darkest moments, I refused to surrender. This season has tested me in ways I never imagined. Going against everything you're taught, making decisions based on something you've never seen, it's truly an exhausting feat. But once you do it, and once you realize that you can come on the other side of the pain, of the mental anguish, of the unknowing in a better space just by trusting yourself and having faith, I was shaken but not broken. And this is only the beginning of my journey.